Good afternoon. My name is Clint Fix, and welcome on this Zoom call. We have the opportunity here in just a moment to hear from an amazing gentleman. The guy I'm about to introduce here has owned multiple companies in his career, from farm equipment manufacturing businesses to farm equipment dealerships. He's owned an e-commerce company valued in the tens of millions, and he's one of the masterminds behind the business you're going to see right now. He sits on the board. He's asked to speak all around the country. And I'll tell you what, he's a blast. He's fun to hang out with. He's the father of some amazing kids, which actually are also going to be presenting in this in just another hour. And I'll tell you what, he's one of the most fun guys to hang out with, but he knows his stuff, and he's about to bring you a good time and help you understand what we are working on. So please help me welcome Mr. BNewton.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? Live from Wichita, Kansas, and excited to be a part of this team and this effort today and bringing this message to you all. There is a lot of stuff to cover, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's a very simple concept that we're dealing with. And I don't want you to overthink it too much, but I do want you to think of this in terms of how can this idea, this business concept, actually help you? And I'm going to be talking a little bit about some concepts on the front side of it. But I just want you to give this some thought before we get started. Jan and I owned a farm equipment business in Hutchinson, Kansas for a bunch of years. Jan's dad owned it prior to that, and we never started a farm equipment business so that we could buy a baler for less money. We never started it so we could get a better deal on a tractor. We're going to talk today about products and services, but when it comes down to owning a business, I think it's better to position it in terms of, okay, so what will it do? I know several McDonald's franchisees, and I know several Wendy's and Burger King franchisees, and there's not one of them that started their company so they get a better price on a Frosty or a hamburger. So with that, how about if we go ahead and get started, and that will kind of help position this a little bit. Hopefully you can see my screen. I'm not an expert here on this online Prezi. I like to use my hands when I share this idea. So you guys will go with me, and I think you'll understand, hopefully. This first page, Moments Matter, I think this is really one of the governing reasons why people actually want to have a better life, maybe want to start a business of their own, or go get education so they can have a better lifestyle, et cetera, et cetera. And so this little page right here just represents the opportunity to do that. And there's a lot of ways. There's people on this call right now. There's a lot of reasons why people would do something different or something in addition to what they're currently doing. And I'm one of these kind of guys that I think there's a better life out there. So as we take a look and we start going here, you can take a look at the online business that's going on, and everybody on this call is very well in tune with what's happening with e-commerce and shopping. Wouldn't it be nice if we could take advantage of this trend that's absolutely killing it right now? Do you have any idea when we sold farm equipment, there was hardly anybody that really wanted to own a farm equipment business, and actually only about 2% of the population was farmers. So we had a business that had such a narrow scope to it as far as the ability to move products. Here with online shopping and e-commerce, literally 100% of the population is using products and services that are available, obviously, in this particular arena. It looks like we got some other stuff coming up on the screen. Hopefully you guys can still see this. Right now, we're in a zone where e-commerce is absolutely exploding, and we actually have the ability to get involved while it's moving in that trend. So I'm excited about that. Now, obviously, it says 8% share online retail right now online, and that has already expanded beyond the 8%. Currently, and it's growing at a multiple right now. So from a business standpoint, this is really a great place to be. So anyway, let's see if I can move this thing on. Clint, I'm not actually able to move it. Let's try it again.
Just hit share screen there, Bill, then select it. You'll be good.
Ah, well. Oh, I guess that's it. You were doing it for me, weren't you?
Yep.
Well, let's just try it again here then. All righty. Can you see that okay, Clint?
Perfect.
Very good. It's always great to have guys on the team. You know, in college, my freshman year, after my first semester, I get a letter from Texas A&M that said something to the effect that if you don't get above 1.9 grade point average, we don't really want you to come back. Well, that's kind of a little bit how I feel with the technology today. This should be just proof that you don't have to be that whiz-bang to go here. Literally 70% of Americans today would like to own their own business. And honestly, I think that would be higher than that if Americans believed that there was less risk in business. But 70% of 320 million's got to be somewhere in the 220, 240 million range. So the potential for looking at this thing is very big in just America, not counting around the world. So this is a little graph here put out by the government showing how average Americans make money. They start right there, and as they grow forward, they make more money. They get up the income ladder. It has a tendency to level out. I was reading a study the other day that said the average American really hasn't had a pay raise in the last 15 years where it kept up with or bettered inflation. So that's quite an amazing thing. And then obviously around retirement age, most of us are going to lose half. We're going to make a half or a third what we were making. And as you look at the lifestyle that's available on half the income right now, it's not that pretty. So I think we have an idea that fits right in line with the average American and their hopes and dreams of maybe improving their life. So let's move on just a little bit. So we looked at the e-commerce growth curve. We've looked at how people want to be an entrepreneur. They want to own their own business. Bonavera is bringing those two together in a term they call collaborative commerce. And collaborative commerce has a big meaning both from e-commerce and all of the companies that we're communicating and doing partnerships with, collaborating with. And as you start your business, there's other people that are going to collaborate with you and I to build a big business. So we're not going to do this as an individual necessarily. We're actually going to do this as a team. And Bonavera is a great way to start. Can you imagine starting a collaborative commerce business that's, around $300? I'm thinking about, we had tools in the shop that were $10,000 to $20,000 just for a tool. And so the comparison with what this will do with what a farm equipment dealership will do, they're not even on the same page. So another point that I'd like to bring out, as Bonavera was in the formation stages, had everybody send in like their resume, I guess, so to speak. Everybody that was kind of in the trenches helping us get started in this collaborative event. There was over 600 years of combined business experience from all different types of industries as getting this thing started. So this has got to pass the muster from a lot of smart men and women from a lot of different perspectives. And so I think you'll appreciate, as we move on, the magnitude of what we have our hands on right here. Essentially, this little chart here is just showing how retail, how commerce has migrated from the stores and all of the markup there and the traditional advertising and the efficiency piece of it, and how they're able to reduce that now through e-commerce, and then even more so with this collaborative commerce model. So not only are we going to have manufacturers and products, we're also going to have services, or we have services. And So the goal, I'll just tell you the goal for Bonvera is to move into the arena where you and I spend money, grab a percentage of that profit that always happens anyway, and put it back into a compensation plan. So from a concept, this is so simple. And so what we're doing today is you and I are going to stores, we're buying our stuff, and we're leaving all of the profit with the store owners. Here we're going to buy stuff maybe from the same manufacturers, maybe from the same stores, but because of the size of our community that we have, we're able to grab a percentage of it and send it back to a compensation plan. So from a concept standpoint, this is really kind of a no-brainer. It's almost like an economic IQ test, really, when you think about it. All right, let's move on here. So we're going to take people that we know, and we're going to invite them to go to a website they can go. That website then just tracks all of the movement of dollars because of products or services. And it obviously it cuts out the middlemen and puts us into that position, which I would rather be in that position than the stockholders of whatever company. Doesn't matter. And then we develop a process where you do the work, you get paid. That's really how this thing goes. So pretty simple, isn't it? All right, now I want to share with you the concept that spoke to me probably the best. And this was it. This was done by Robert Kiyosaki in the end of the 90s. As a matter of fact, I got a chance to meet Robert, and he developed this as an educational tool so people kind of understand how money is made. And I think when you understand this particular concept right here, it will get to the very heartbeat of what it is that I got excited about, and I'm going to try to convey it with everything that I have to you. And so E is for employee, S is for small business owner or self-employed or specialist or something like that. And that particular side of the quadrant, we put in time to make money. And that's where 95+% of the population, probably even a little bit more than that, is. And so on the other side is the B-type quadrant. This is the big business. Now, when I owned my farm equipment dealership, I was an S quadrant. I didn't know the difference until it was explained. An S quadrant is a company owner that actually, if you own your own business and you're the only employee, you function very much like an E quadrant. You do the work, you get paid, you don't. An S quadrant would be someone who leverages their time. Maybe they have some employees that work for this amount and they turn around and sell it for this. In the farm equipment business, if I paid you $20 an hour as a mechanic, I'd probably try to charge $100 an hour or $80 an hour. And that's the leverage kind of concept with the S quadrant. Nothing's wrong with that, but I can tell you this, if I wasn't there for a period of time, our business would go south like crazy. The B quadrant, on the other hand, Kiyosaki describes it as some businesses that have about 500 employees or more, and it's systematized. And the owner doesn't even have to be there if they don't want to. They can if they want, but they don't have to. And that business, because it's systematized, will go on and grow on. The I quadrant, just as a brief explanation, is when you make money on investments. And it's very challenging. Matter of fact, it's a very, 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 very small percent of the world that makes enough money on their money. And so for the rest of today, I'm just going to talk about going into the B quadrant and what it's going to take to migrate from the E quadrant and the S quadrant over to the B quadrant. So hopefully you'll hang with me there. And it all starts with defining first what you want to do, learning from the folks that have already done what you did, and then obviously doing what they say. And I use this example all the time just because it was me. I can remember as a freshman in high school, my coach said, our track coach said, all right, everybody line out, and I want you to run the 100-yard dash. I want you to throw the javelin and the shot put and high jump and pole vault, and we'll put you in different events. And I'd never seen a javelin before in my life. And I threw the javelin, and the coach goes, ooh, Bill, that was pretty good. And, of course, the little freshman, not knowing anything about it, I'm thinking, well, he thinks that's good. Watch to the next one. And so I threw it, and I kept getting accolades. Some of you got those accolades with with speech or English or math or history, and you became maybe became a mathematician or an accountant because somebody encouraged you in math. Well, for javelin, here's how it went. So I got some accolades throwing the javelin. So I went back and I learned how to throw the javelin better. And as I learned how to throw the javelin better, I did more practicing. And it was just a cycle of doing and learning and doing and learning and doing and learning. After I became one of the best javelin throwers in America, I got to thinking about, well, how much income do they make? What kind of lifestyle does a dang javelin thrower have? And it's really pretty pathetic. And so I know that's kind of a funny example, but I think we all do it to some degree. And so I'm going to encourage you right now to think about how you want your life to be different, and then see if this business idea right here, this entrepreneurship, this collaborative commerce can actually accomplish the things that you actually really want. So here we go. This is back to the moments matter. I believe when you'll start identifying, like the bottom right-hand corner, financial freedom, that may mean different things to different folks, but let me give you a test. Try this one on for size. Let's say that you make $100,000 a year. Now, everything else is equal except these two things. You make $100,000 a year and you work 12 hours a day, and it's the same job, same business, same everything, right? $100,000 a year and you work 12 hours, or you work 6 hours a day and you make the same amount. Which is your preference? It's the 6 hours, and the reason is because of financial freedom, time freedom, to be able to do some more things with your family or your loved ones. If you just love what you do, you're still going to choose the 6 hours because you don't want to just have to do the 12. Well, now I'm going to expand that one for just a minute. So as you take a look at this idea, this doesn't put what you do in contest with this. This actually just offers you the opportunity to have more options. Then if you had that 100,000 and you put in 1 hour a day, most people would choose putting the 1 hour in and then having the rest of the time. So go with me here, because I do believe that your life and your moments matter, and that this is an absolute awesome idea to move forward with. Yes, we have products, and yes, we have services, and there's a process that we go through, and then there's a community of people, as I think Marcus Lemonis says on The Profit. There's the 3 Ps: process, products, and people. Well, that's exactly what this is. So we're going to dive in real quick here so you can see what this is. So we have some exclusive brands of products that we launched with some of the physics bars and energy drinks. We added the Lubella skincare products, and here recently we've added the nutritional line of Physics MD products, and it's backed up by all kinds of research and health benefits and science. And actually that whole section right there now is our largest section of products and services. In addition to that, we have almost everything from come here to come sick 'em. It's amazing. From Tide to you name it. It's just coffee, and there's stores like Walmart and Target, and I don't know, Bass Pro Shop maybe, and Walgreens, and the list just goes on and on. I get all the time stuff. People say, well, what's the website? I'm thinking, well, the website would be Walmart's website or Target's website. And then what we have is with our Bonvera website, we just have them all linking up. So in essence, you're shopping at their stores or a manufacturing company, and we just link them all up, and we gather the dollars that have been spent together and coordinate so you can get more bonuses. So it's really pretty a simple process. We have, in every company, there's a replenishment option, or they would prefer to have a replenishment option. I guess some of them don't have it, but they wish they did. When I worked for Kansas Power and Lights, that tells you how long ago that was. Now it's Westar Energy. They developed an ongoing replenishment program for gas and electricity. You didn't have to call up and say, hey, send me some kilowatt hours. And from a business standpoint, that's the ideal business to be in. One, there's automatic replenishment. Let me give you an example of some automatic replenishment programs. Your bank, they financed your house or your car, and they set it up on an automatic replenishment for them, didn't they? How about How about your phone company? Is it automatic replenishment for a phone service, or do you have to call them up every day? Hey, send me a couple more minutes. There's all kinds of replenishment stuff. I'm going to bet you some of you have an automatic replenishment with cleaning your teeth. They set you up on a 6-month schedule to get your teeth cleaned. Isn't that amazing how that works? Here's one that a lot of people don't think about. Automatic replenishment for education. My mom and dad set that up for me back when I was in kindergarten, 1st through 8th grade, and then 8th through 12th grade. And then I set it up personally from 12th through the end of going to school. And then some of us went on to tech schools, and we set that up as an automatic replenishment for 9 weeks or 12 weeks or 3 months or a year, whatever. Every business would love to have an automatic replenishment program. I know I'm beating that one with the stick here, but the fact of the matter is we have a Bonvera replenishment program that you can plug in, and it makes your business much more predictable. Also over here on the training program, we have that set up as automatic replenishment. But what that really does for us, it actually educates, trains, so that the average guy or gal can get on this team and not have to know anything about the support or the training piece of it, and we can plug folks in, and that does our heavy lifting for us. So you want to talk to your friend that invited you here about how to get set up on that. Here's the part that's going to show you how we migrate into the B-type quadrant. So brothers and sisters, let's do this. Watch this. So let's say before you showed up here today, there are some folks already on this team, and we would call it a support team. So there's a couple of them, and then you show up, you get registered, you pay your $300 or whatever whatever it is with your tax in your area. And now you have access to our website that has all these companies and services and products and manufacturers and stores. So now you have access to all of those, and you can buy your stuff. They coordinate the purchases, the value of that, and then they issue bonuses back to you and the team. And what's really cool is this support team starts to put some folks on your team in your business, and it creates an asset. I never had any farmers create an asset for me in my farm equipment business. They were the asset, and I had to go get it. You know what I mean? Here we have support team members that go do that, put folks on the team, they create volume, they get their own number, and away we go. It's just like off to the races. And now through this whole team support, this team effect that we have right here, you actually can create a bigger, larger asset that can actually be transferred. And when I talk about ongoing and residual type incomes, let me just talk about that for just real quick, because I think that's where the B type business actually goes. Most of us are familiar with an ongoing asset with Social Security, a residual income. I get to be 65 or 67 or whatever your retirement, and then we get this much money whether we do anything or not, whether we're fishing or hunting or whatever. Many of you in the military get to do it after 20 years. Well, here's what I find, and I've talked to a lot of folks around America today. Almost nobody, almost nobody, check it out yourself, is nurtured or educated or informed on how to get an ongoing residual income in the next 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years. It's almost never talked about. Here's a residual income for you. Put some money in the bank, so you worked hard, you did the work to create the money, now it's in the bank or investments, and that money that's coming to you is a residual income. The problem is with all the incomes that I've talked about so far residually, in a general sense, they don't even come close to what the average American would like to live their life on. And so as you take a look at this idea, think about having a team approach of folks, putting folks on the team, creating volume, moving products and services. Wouldn't this be awesome? Now take a look. So you can start a second team if you want. And the list just goes on and on. It's really kind of a cool thing. That's how we're going to develop a team. We're going to get this team educated from the EXO training program and from folks that have already been on the water that know more than I don't. And so it actually procreates itself. So the other day I was sharing with some folks how the income can take can take a gradual kind of a curve, and then I don't know whether you can see me on here or not, but as it takes off and it starts to grow, actually with the right training, this thing can grow when you're dead. Now, I love that idea. There's a lot of us out here that would like to bless the second, and third, and fourth, and fifth generations. So anyway, you can tell I'm into this. There's a program with the Bonvera replenishment. When you set somebody up and they get registered for the replenishment program, you'll make $25 for that. That's just in the compensation plan. And the person that set themselves up on the replenishment also gets a $25 check. So that's kind of cool. Here's just a sampling of the income. So this is showing 15 folks on one team and 9 folks on the second team, each doing about 200 business volume. And actually, just so you know, business volume is actually represented in profit. All businesses operate on profit. There's not one of them that should operate on anything but profit. And if they do, they won't be in business very long. So we operate this on business volume. That represents profit. And so all it's saying is when you have 15 on one and 9 on another team, doing a couple hundred business volume, you'll make $450 to $1,000 a month. And on the other team, this is just showing a progression of that, 30 and 19, you'd make somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000. So you can see the team approach to making money gets better and better. And we also have a program for cars. When you have 20 folks on one team on the BVR program, anybody in that team, so long as it equals 20, and 20 on a second team, Bonvera will get you a $400 bonus that you can apply to a car. So there you go. It's an awesome way to promote and help people grow their business. So essentially, here's what we do. We drive people to the website. The website tracks all the sales of the products and the dollars. We cut out the middlemen, and we become the entrepreneurs, so we can operate this out of our business, and we just start rotating that process. So here we are. Let me see if I can rephrase what I think we have here. I told this the other day. Harriet Tubman, she was like the Underground Railroad queen. She was the gal that went and helped free slaves back in the day. And over a period of time, she freed over 500, and she was given an award for freeing all of those 500. And what Harriet said was something that has stuck with me, and I hope it'll stick with you here today. She said this: I could have freed more if I could have convinced them they were slaves. Now, what does that mean? So she was an instigator to start to change in the hearts and the minds of Americans, which changed history. I think you know where I'm going with this, with our particular business. I believe what we have here, when people start to believe they can make a residual income, when they can have a better life, and they can work with a team of people, they actually believe they can start their own company. I believe they will get started. They'll start connecting the dots with all kinds of opportunity that's out here. Here's another piece of it that I haven't told you about that I want you to know. I want you to know that this whole business idea was started with the ICAA, Independent Community Advisory Association. It is a group of men and women that actually have a contract with Bonvera. So Bonvera functions as a field-driven business. So you and I, as starters of our own businesses, we have literally great access with products and services and ideas and thoughts and compensation plans and policies and procedures on this idea that goes directly through this ICAA, and then they sound off to Bonvera. I love this idea. I believe anybody could do this. I just think it's the right thing to do. So as you think about this, and you might say, well, I don't have enough money. I'm thinking, no. I didn't have all these millions of kids that go to school. They don't have enough money, and they go into debt for school and education. And some of you are thinking, Bill, you're being a little obnoxious. I get it's just the perspective that I have. When I walk out this door, when you walk out that door, almost 100% of the people that you talk to do not have a sufficient ongoing residual B-type income going on in their life. And you actually hold the key to that. And I think, do you think that sooner is better than later? That's why I think let's go ahead and get started. That's why I think you're going to change the lives of the people that understand this, and it's going to be up to you to put this in front of them. I don't think they have anything else in their life that will give them that kind of freedom. And so the last question is, why not? Why not go ahead and get started? Why not open the door for some folks in your life, some friends, some family members that have never been nurtured? I had never been nurtured. There was 11 kids in my family. My mom was a teacher and a principal, and my dad was an engineer. They were smart, and they loved us. Not one time did they sit little Billy down, or any of my brothers and sisters, because I have interviewed them. Not one time did they sit us down and say, here's a way for you guys to earn your freedom. It was always a 65-year game plan. It was kind of assumed. Ladies and gentlemen, right here and right now, today, this afternoon, you have that opportunity to go and make a difference in a lot of people's lives. And I will say this, by wrapping it up, I will say this. You today have an opportunity now to take this message. There will be another speaker coming on. We're doing this every hour on the hour for about 12 hours today. You have the opportunity to go contact a friend or a relative or somebody that you care about and have them get on this call and have someone who can communicate the effect and the value of this business idea in their lives to them in a great way. So get them on this particular call. It'll probably be starting in about 20 minutes or so. So with that, God bless you guys on this journey. I've enjoyed speaking with you. I hope it helps. Take care. Have a great day.